Good to go. So, welcome everybody to the very first episode of Overly Opinionated, a podcast where you have four or five different people with their own opinions, and we are very opinionated. And so, we're going to start with introduction. My name is James out of Houston. Um, a lot of opinions I have, most aren't of the popular nature, but as we go throughout the show, you all will see that. Next we got my guy D-Man. What's going on, D-Man?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? It's good people coming at you from San Antonio. Uh, like he said, like my boy James said, we all got our opinions. So I got mine. So let's get it popping.
Okay. And Miss Sessions.
Hey everyone, I'm Session out of Dallas by way of Corpus Christi. I'm opinionated but soft spoken, but I'm going to tell it like it is. You either like it or you don't.
Hey,
Best way to be. And Miss Lucy.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I am from Louisiana. I was born in 89. So you will see that my opinions come from the 90s, but also my heart. So,
Yeah, and me, I'm from Louisiana as well, just so everybody knew that. And my guy Joey.
What's up? I'm Joey, originally from Louisiana, but live in Grand Prairie, Texas. Uh, I'm ruthless in my opinion, and I'm here to let y'all know what it is. So that's all I got to say.
Okay. So we got the intros out the way. We'll probably try to swing in these intros first couple episodes just to so people can get used to knowing who we are. So we have here today, first topic we want to discuss is something very light and general. I think everybody here saw the movie Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Everybody has their opinions on it. I think all the opinions are split. So, Joey, we're gonna start with you, and I just want to know what did you expect from the movie, and what did you take away from it? We'll get into depth, but that's where we start.
So I had negative opinions of the first movie, and we can get into that in more detail later. But because of that, my expectation level for the second one was not as high. Having said that, it was pretty much what I thought it was going to be. Um, I think with Chadwick Boseman dying, we kind of knew they were going to do something to incorporate him into the movie, which they did. And kudos to them for that, but they didn't let that take up the majority of the movie. It it managed to touch on other points to show other characters that I honestly feel didn't get enough spotlight in the first one. And there's some things here and there, some tropes that kept coming up along with the movie, but for the most part, it was pretty much to what I thought it was going to be. I don't really have, I guess, a hardcore opinion on the movie itself, but it's pretty much what I thought it was going to be.
But Joey, we're gonna get with that later because I think me and you kind of have similar views, so we get deeper into it. So, Lucy, what about you? What did you expect from the movie? If you had any expectations, and when you left, what did you take away from it?
okay, I'm gonna say that I was really sad when Chadwick died. I was heartbroken. Um, just because of who he is as a person, not the effect that it was gonna have on the Marvel franchise. Um, a lot of people said that they cried at the first beginning of the movie. I was angry. And I was sitting here trying to remember why I was angry during the first beginning of the movie. I was mad. I don't know if they didn't do what I needed them to do to give me all the feels from what I was feeling as far as being sad. Um, I was like, okay, we got a funeral. I don't know. And then my anger continued up until the mom died, and then I was mad about that. So like I didn't feel this sadness or these emotions of like, you know, just what had taken place before. Like I didn't feel that. I was pretty much mad. I mean, the action was there, the graphics and stuff were there, but I don't know. Usually the feel good stuff I feel in Marvel movies, I didn't feel it in this one. I was mad. Like I should have been on the board and I should have got a chance to give what my opinion was and what they should have done with the movie. That's my 2 cents.
So yeah, you got a lot of anger. Gotcha. 2.5 hours of anger. Gotcha. Okay, Miss Session, what about you? What did you expect from the movie? And what did you take away from it? And are you even like a Marvel fan, or was it more of a Black Panther?
So I'm just gonna be honest with you. I couldn't tell you Marvel and the other one. People ask me, "Are you Marvel or whatever?" And I'm like, I just like Batman. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I'm more of a horror movie girl. And I think the first Black Panther, I think I was just more excited about the movement, about us finally having a superhero and not having like a gangbanger or a drug dealer as the main character. I was just more excited for little boys and little girls, especially little boys, having that, oh my gosh, I can be a superhero, having that Halloween costume that was ours. You know, to where people are like, you can't be Superman, like having that, yeah, Black Panther is ours. I think I was more excited about that. Loved part 1. Part 2, I went to see by myself. I think maybe I expected a little more. I'm glad they didn't kind of just drag on maybe like the funeral scene. I think it was very beautifully done. Like Joey said earlier, I'm glad they did allow more character development. I wish maybe I had been able to see more. Like, I think I left more with like questions. Like, well, what happened to this? And like, well, what happened to that? And I think maybe like when the queen passed away, I was kind of like, okay, I guess maybe she had to die. Like I kind of like, like in my mind, I was like, well, maybe she had to die like as another rite of passage to like pass on. I guess I always think of like, because I'm a history person, I think of it from that way. I didn't really have a lot of expectations because I knew they had to figure out a way to incorporate Chadwick without doing it for the full 2.5-hour movie. I knew they had to address it because if they didn't, it would be movie suicide. So I knew they had to address it. So I didn't have any expectations of the movie. I think everything else and all the rest of the hype of the movie, you got what you got, if that makes sense. But I don't have like an emotional tie to like Marvel and DC. So for me, it was just like, all right, I think it's a sad ending to maybe a franchise that could have been phenomenal. Because now I'm like, please don't come back 20 years from now and be like, he's grown up now. Don't do that. Like, just let it ride off into the sunset. But I know they are 20 years from now, he's going to grow up and it's going to be like a whole Coming to America part 3 type of thing.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
Right. And I'm like, don't do it. Like, don't
like
do
it. Literally verbatim is what they're going to do.
So, so it is what it is. Like it was beautifully done. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. So wait, before we get to my guy D-Man, I want to preface by saying, so Lucy and Session, y'all both are not like comic book superhero fans. Y'all were into the Black Panther movie. Like y'all just like the movie. Lucy, you on mute.
Sorry, hi. No, I am Marvel through and through.
Okay. I was just trying to make sure. Okay, so then that's what I'm trying to make sure the difference, so people would know the opinions that, like, okay, she's not a comic book head, but she did watch the movie and understood what was going on. Okay, that's what I was trying to make sure. Okay, so D-Man, what about you now? For D-Man, I'm sure that it's going to get a little deeper and a little darker, and then I'm gonna probably darken it all the way out when it gets to me, so I'm gonna wait.
Well, I don't know necessarily that I'm going to get darker. Um, there's been a lot of comparison between Woman King and Wakanda Forever, and people are like saying, well, they were trying to make Woman King to be like, and I'm like, no, they were actually two different things. One was loosely based on something that actually happened. Of course, they took liberty to, they got to tell a story, so they did what they did with Woman King. But Wakanda Forever is a fiction. Yeah. So I don't know why people are trying to compare them. Let them be. Like Lucy, well, I was expecting to go in and feeling sad about Chadwick, right? I'm like waiting for that moment. To me, the funeral session thing, the whole was rushed to me. I don't feel like they made me connect to the fact that Black Panther had died. Like they rushed that part of the story. And I personally think they could have had someone act as Black Panther, let us see him die in the suit, right? Didn't have to be Chad. We wouldn't need to see the person, the actor's face, right? And that would have made it more real, like, oh wow, Black Panther. Let us see everybody being impacted by it, crying, whatever, and then the funeral. But they were like, just went into the funeral, and I was like, what the? Like I
after the
couldn't connect.
movie,
Say it again.
we never see Chadwick die, right?
No, mm-mm.
We
No,
never.
we don't.
It's just like movie funeral.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why I was like, that part just didn't do it for me. Um, like Joey said, there was a lot of tropes in there. I try not to get too caught up into that because so it's like there's a balancing, right? For both Woman King and Wakanda Forever, I was happy that we got to see Black women kick ass, right? Like for me, I was like, good. That needs to be because since they allow women to do action movies, most of the action female heroes, however you say that, right, were white women. We never get to see Black women kick ass. So finally we get to see it, and now all the Black community's like, well, why are they doing this? Like, can we just take a step back for a minute and be glad we finally get to see some Black women kick ass, without worrying about the tropes and the meanings behind it and some of the political stuff. Let's just be happy that finally we get to see some Black women do something. So for me, that's how I took it, even though I saw some of the things in there that were like, I knew they were going to do that, but I was like, I'm not going to get caught up in it. I'm just glad to see, some Black women do that. So that's one thing. The other thing, I did feel like the movie in itself, there were things that were rushed. And I guess that happens in a lot of movies, but I don't know why I felt it more in this one than in a lot of other movies. The special effects didn't bother me. I wasn't bothered by that. I just felt like the storyline and the way they rushed some things were just didn't sit well with me. But overall, I didn't come away from it completely disappointed. I just knew going in that there were going to be some issues in there already. And so I just accepted it, but it was all right.
Okay. So I want to preface this by saying that from a comic book person, true, legit Marvel fan, that I'm going to go see the movie the day it come out. As soon as it come out, I don't care if I got to miss work. I go pick my son up from school and we go skip school and go watch the movie, and I take him back and his mama don't know nothing about it. Yes, I do that often. But my first problem with the Black Panther movies was from the first one. From being a Black boy, I always wanted to have the Black superhero. And I wanted a superhero that was Black, not a Black superhero. And I feel like Wakanda, for the first Black Panther movie, from me watching, knowing the Marvel movies that I watch, it was the Black people of Wakanda into it with other Black people of Wakanda fighting for Wakanda. In no other Marvel movie, they're saving the world, they're saving the country, they're saving, and it's not we just over here fighting each other for our own stuff. That made no sense to me, and I didn't like that. But I felt the same way about the show that they did with Luke Cage, where Luke Cage is a prominent superhero, but his show, he in the hood fighting drug dealers, only for his block. Like he's not saving the world. It's not expanded beyond that. He just in his neighborhood fighting the drug dealers to make it. So they made a black superhero, not a superhero that's
Right.
black,
Mm-hmm.
and they focused on it.
Mm-hmm.
So from the first Black Panther, because I will state that an unpopular opinion is that is one of my top bottom 5 of the Marvel movies. Was the first one. Then came the second one. I'll preface this by saying that I know Coogler and the rest of the people that created that movie was put in a tough spot because they had a script that was written and they had already started recording, already started production on it. Then Chadwick got sick and died. So they had to scrap that whole script. So the rush that y'all felt, that was because they had to scrap that script and come up with a whole new script to even keep the movie going because he got sick during production. Like they were already on, working on it. The script and everything was already written. So I felt like I didn't want to be too harsh on them because of it, because I know the position that they was put in of you got a movie and it's not some, small budget movie. These are big budget movies. You got a big budget movie where you already have the script wrote out. Then the main character die and get sick and then pass away. And now you got to write technically a new movie. So I feel like with that, they did okay with what they had because there was a whole new script. That whole Shuri and everything, none of that was supposed to happen. None of that. My issue with that was I do agree that the funeral was rushed, but I go a step further with it. From a superhero standpoint, somebody that watches these movies and follows since a kid, no other superhero dies from heart complications. Off screen, just he died from a heart complication. His power is he drunk the heart-shaped herb that literally prevents him from getting sick. And you get what I'm saying? So for him to just die off screen, and they just say, he died from heart complication. I think the mom mentioned it once in the whole movie.
Yeah, right.
That was very like, because you didn't have to kill the character of the Black Panther, which was what Lucy said. If you're gonna do it like that and do the tribute, let someone die in the costume during battle like they would have done any other superhero. Like he died off screen in the hospital with a heart complication. Like really, that was so anticlimactic to me, and it set the tone for it when I saw that, and I was like, so how? Because that was always my question of okay, how they gonna handle the passing of Chadwick? Like how are they gonna do that? And the way they did it was rushed and just like he died because of heart complications. Move on, and that's what it seemed like. Like hey, move on. So I didn't like that. I'm also like D-Man. I'm glad to see my Black women in a movie where they're looking strong and competent and kicking ass and creating and building. That was awesome to me. I don't like that it was in the expense of the men in the movie. They made it look to me that the women couldn't look strong in the movie unless they made the men look weak. But no other movie, Ms. Marvel, they don't have to make the rest of the Avengers look weak to make her look like one of the strongest Avengers. Even standing next to them, you can tell by her power level that she's stronger than them. They didn't have to dwarf, but in this movie, to me, there was an intent to make the male character seem like the way you see most of the dads on most cartoons and shows now. The mom is the strong one, the smart one. The dad's kind of the dumb, clunky, funny. Go ahead.
So James, so when you say stuff like that, it's good to give examples. So what scene to you was like epitomized the idea of a woman, them weakening the man in order for the woman to shine?
Okay. First scene I'll say was where, because I watched this with my girlfriend actually, and I want to say 30 minutes into the movie, she tapped me and was like, where are the men at? 30 minutes into it, she was like, where are the men at in the movie? Like, where's M'Baku and all the other tribes of men? There was a focus on the Black women. And I don't have an issue with that, except for the fact of, so let's see, the fight scene when they were on the boat.
Bridge.
And the boat, the bridge and the boat.
Okay.
Both fight scenes, if you see on the boat, the men held the rope for the women. The women dove off the side of the boat and actually fought. On the bridge, they made the women characters, even on the Atlantean, I'm gonna call them Atlantean, even though it's not what they're called, but even on that side, it was just always, to me, a constant effort to make the woman character seem as if she didn't really need the guy. Like, they weren't needed in this. Like, there was a concentrated effort to that. Lucy, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in there. I get what you're saying, but we know from the first Black Panther movie, the women are the warriors. In that area of Africa, just if you want to go back to Woman King, the women were the warriors. I don't know if it was a play on that, but like, who is behind T'Challa always? Those women. I mean, that was just from the first start of the movie. Now, because they're like different tribes in Wakanda, we don't know if it's like that, because it's snow where M'Baku and them at. We don't know if there are more women led, like the area where T'Challa is. And then you have some that look like they're out on a farm and they work more with animals, like they're more in the land.
Okay.
So you want to chime?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me hold that thought. So, James, I get what you're saying, but I do think that's like more so an African thing. Like, it's, for me, it's not far off for the women to be the warriors. The conflict I really didn't like was, now we have the Black people and then we have the Hispanic people, like, two what people consider lower level
The brown people.
races, yeah, against each other. And
Just
so
say it, the brown people.
in all the other movies, we're fighting aliens, you know, people that are coming from outer space. And so again, that might be why I was feeling anger throughout the movie, because I'm like, what is this conflict y'all made up? And they're introducing a new character, you know, and I was like, I get, why did it have to be Black Panther? Because there's going to be another movie that, I mean, maybe we could have brought Winged Ankles in on that, but this is the particular conflict in this movie, and I just, I didn't appreciate that.
Okay.
Wait, Lucy, wait. What did you call him again?
Winged ankles.
Namor.
Okay, I know what his name is, but I just needed
Namor,
her to
that's-
repeat what she called him, winged ankles. Okay, go ahead, D-Man.
Yeah. So I kind of want to address Lucy and James together, like at the same time. So I feel you. I feel what you guys are saying. However, the Dora Milaje, which were the women, they, in that particular tribe, kingdom, whatever, how it is, were specialized warriors to protect the king, right? So, you know, they learn how to fight special, you know, and all that stuff. It wasn't that they didn't have men that fight, you know, whatever, but they were not part of that special group. That was the Dora Milaje. And that's how it's written in the comic books. So that always existed. Now, this is not the case in every African tribe. It is not a African thing. The Dahomey, you know, the reason the Dahomey king did that was because he didn't want to be challenged. He didn't trust the other men around him, like they might try to, you know, take over his seat, challenge him, you know, whatever, kill him in the middle night. So he's like, I want women to protect me. So he had special warrior women because he trusted the women wouldn't do that. So that's where that came from. So they just took that and said, okay, let's do that for Black Panther, and we'll call him Dora Milaje and blah blah blah. Now the part where they're jumping off the bridge. So if we flip that around, do you think the women would have been strong enough to hold the men jumping down? So in order to do that, they had to have the women jump and the men hold. So that part didn't bother me, like in terms of the women man thing. Um, um, I just I mean I feel what you guys are saying, and you know, yes, I think that some of the fight scenes they could have used more of the men that were like in M'Baka's tribe to come fight, you know. But I think in that final battle scene, they were on the ship. They did have some of them on there fighting because I remember the shields and stuff. So they were there. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because I felt like there were some things being kind of like mixed up, and I'm like, well, you know, I don't know. I get your beef, but you
Okay.
know.
So wait,
I
Joey,
think
I
we have a
see you.
hand raised.
Yeah, we got Joey, and I had mine. But hold on. So D-Man and Lucy, I get what y'all saying, but to a small portion. So the Dora Milaje was the right hand to the king and the queen. They were there to protect. But in the first movie, when they had the whole big fight scene, outside of the Dora Milaje, what women did you see in fight? None. Wait, in Avengers, when Thanos came to Wakanda, other than the Dora Milaje, there were all men out there on the battlefield. In this movie, in particular, they extracted all the men from the battlefield. You didn't see a scene, even the one that D-Man is talking about at the end, that was basically because they was going to bring in M'Baku as the king, so they had to reappear him. But for the most part, the movie wasn't there. But outside of that, there were no parts in this movie where the men did any kind of physical fighting. For the telecons, they, and again, so I don't have no reference for them because they was just brought into the movie. So I don't know, but I don't know what their race, but how they operate. But even with them, you saw them. But I know for sure when I watched the first Black Panther and when I watched Avengers, anything that had anything to do with Wakanda, other than the Dora Milaje, there weren't no women out there on the battlefield. None. When you saw them when in part one, when T'Challa was about to fight and M'Baku challenged him for the throne, you saw the Dora Milaje, you saw Shuri and the mama, and you saw a bunch of guys.
Aren't the door like the Dora Milaje got a lot of members, right?
Nah, it's probably, I think it's altogether it'd be like 15 because they're special trained group of women. So most people won't even.
Joey, you still want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's my thing. And this is dating back to the original Black Panther. And not just Black Panther, but Captain America Civil War, where he first got introduced at.
Right.
The image of the man in these movies has always been in the backseat. No matter what, like, yeah, T'Challa showed up, he fought in Captain America Civil War, but he was angry and he wanted to get revenge. That's the image we saw of him in that movie. We get to Black Panther, we see infighting, cultural infighting because of him taking the throne, M'Baku and T'Challa first, and then we go on to Killmonger and then T'Challa. And then you got Killmonger versus Dora Milaje, and so on and so forth. That is the image that we're constantly getting depicted. Even with the men fighting, what we expect is to see men on the front lines, men doing a bulk of the work. In these movies, it challenges those views, it challenges those narratives because you mainly see the women scrapping. They are, his royal guard. They are the ones mainly doing combat. You don't ever see the black man in a powerful position in these movies fighting, other than Black Panther, like the first one. And even still, he lost to the alpha male. He lost to the quote unquote hood nigga of superheroes or power or strength. And then he had to come back after getting nursed back to health in secrecy. I did not surrender. I did not. And then we go on with the rest of this nonsense, and then you know what happens.
Yeah, they made him look real weak.
Right. It's constant. That's the constant theme of it. I get it. Dora Milaje, they got to do their thing. They got to be shown to look a certain way. Cool. Even if Baku didn't look that strong, he's like supposed to be the guy. He's supposed to be the guy, but he still, compared to the rest, he still looks like, if you wanted to rank them by like who's the best in battle, the Dora Milaje look way better than M'Baku in all the showings. Yet he's like a 6'3", 300-pound monster. Show me anywhere in real life where you see that guy being outdone in a fight by a woman, trained or not. It doesn't happen. And they don't even have powers. So this is like the constant trope. And I get it. You know, we got to see black girls, black women kicking butt. I don't have any issue with that. But at some point, we also need to see the black men have a bigger presence. We can't sit here on one end and talk about, okay, these broken households and men ain't doing this and blah, blah, blah. And then we also go to the movies and we sit there, yay, women, but the men don't have to do it. The men are like, no, we need to see elevation of both. Both are equally important. And what this is only doing, this is why I was talking about these tropes. They reinforce certain things that go on in society. Now, I know all the stuff was going on with the movie. Some of that stuff got rushed. I'm pretty sure they probably just pulled a bunch of things out for the sake of keeping it within a certain time frame. I'm not going to trip on that. But most of these movies have three. They have three iterations. What's the third one going to be like? Is it going to be different from what we expect? I don't know. We don't know. But right now, it's looking like it's going to be more of the same. What this movie was Woman King Part 2. That's all it was to me. And it is what it is. I don't ever expect any males in the Black Panther franchise to look better than what they've shown. Now, they brought Killmonger back for a moment to have him mentor Shuri. But that was it. The dark side of it. You didn't see any positive affirmations from anybody else. Any of the other prior kings, it was that dark side. Like, yeah, feed into it, black woman. You know, do this. And that becomes like a constant battle. Like you said, all the other movies, Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, she shows up. She's beating the crap out of Thanos. Like effortlessly. She not even trying. She beat him, and the only reason she got beat for a moment was because of the Power Stone. But she showed up. Thor couldn't do anything with 2 axes. Captain America, Scarlet Witch shows up. Airstrike. But what are the guys doing? Getting beat up. Doctor Strange holding the wave. That's what this is like. The Marvel movies in general. It's not just Black Panther, but Black Panther has their way of doing it. But it's Marvel movies in general. That's like par for the course, though.
Yeah.
So wait, D-Man, hold on, right before to get you. Wait, this is a very important part. And I hate.
It's 7:41. Just FYI.
Okay, so I hate that I left this out, but do we remember when Tony Stark died? Didn't we see Black Panther and everybody else in the world at that?
I was going to bring that up.
We saw Black Panther was at the funeral. The Dora Milaje lady was at the funeral.
Aliens were at the funeral.
Yeah, aliens. Whenever something happened, when Thanos came, Wakanda opened their land up to say, hey, we're going to have a big battle here. We're going to keep Vision here. Everything here. Very welcoming. Throughout that whole movie of Wakanda Forever, this was a terrorist attack technically on Wakanda. Where were any of the Avengers? Where was S.H.I.E.L.D.? Where was any of that? They didn't come to the man's funeral. Like, none of them. The one arm guy, his name skipped my mind now. The Winter Soldier. He lived there. They built him a new arm. He didn't want to come to the man's funeral.
I said that too, and I don't know.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah.
No, somebody gave me a good point. I forgot who I said this to, but why was the fume just with Wakanda?
That was my point. But they go to other people's funeral, because I talked to somebody else and they was like, well, Wakanda keeps themselves. I'm like, nah, because they opened their land for Thanos and they went to Tony Stark's funeral.
Why would they go? And I'm like,
the big battle of Thanos happened on Wakanda.
So yeah, I'm gonna take this a little bit further. I don't know if we're gonna stay on this subject or whatever, but
Seem
if
like
y'all are disappointed now, whoo, it's gonna get worse. Because if you look at what they're trying to set up, the characters that are coming out in the next phase, again, it's a lot more white people, a lot more white men, and a lot of female characters are coming out, either on Disney Plus or in the movies. None that I can think of the new characters that are going to come out are black men. None of them.
Well, what
Here's-
other
here-
black people
wait.
there are in Marvel?
What?
What other black?
Oh, there's other black superheroes, trust me, that are powerful, and that was going to
Blue
bring
Marvel, Icon.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
they got
They're never
Superman
going to
like
show
characters.
Icon. They're not going to do Icon. But here's the other thing to notice. There are no male black superheroes that are what you would call like alpha level. Like there's none that's at the level of Thor, Hulk, Captain Marvel. Who else is up at that level? Doctor Strange, the witch chick,
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch. All of them are powerful. None of them are black, right? The two surviving black superheroes we have are both mechanized, right? They wear shit to be able to do what they're doing, but they're not. They're about to bring can't think of the black girl's name right now.
Riri.
Yeah, not Riri. She's gonna be mechanized too, but she was on Disney Plus in the show with the Scarlet Witch. Spectrum. She's gonna be called Spectrum when she comes out. She's powerful.
Monica Rambeau.
Yes, she's got power, right?
Wow.
There's no black dudes got power unless they want to try to bring in homie from the Eternals, right? But he's,
Luke Cage was supposed to be indestructible. That's all I'm saying. I know Luke Cage from
yeah,
the
I don't
comics.
even want to touch that one.
But
he was
still
dumb
street level
stuff,
compared to some of these other guys. Some of these other guys are universe busters.
Yeah.
Like
You're right. You're right.
They don't have, you're not gonna see a black man like that on screen being able to like just ruin a universe.
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to put them at A level. They're not going to bring any of those A level black superheroes into Marvel. They'll do it after everybody gets sick and tired of watching Marvel. And be like, but see, nobody wants to watch. Well, yeah, because they're tired of watching Marvel at this point. So
well, I'm not gonna never get tired of it. Okay.
Next subject.
All right. So
Next.
So we see, as we can see from just this first subject, that the flow is good, and everybody had really strong opinions, and I like that everybody stood on their opinions, and that's what it's about. You got your opinion, you stand on your opinion. If someone says that makes you think different or something, that's cool, but stand on how you feel. We don't have to agree. I don't gotta. It's not a kumbaya session where we sit here and go, hey, I feel this way now. We want to make sure everybody feel the same way. That's boring. So after that topic, we want to move to one that'll probably get a little more touchy, which is dating the normal way to me versus online dating, which is such as online etiquette. What's the difference between the two when the initial meeting? Does just so we're gonna try to dig surface level on that. This is probably one of the ones we're gonna come back to and go deeper in. So this time we're gonna start with D-Man. And D-Man, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
So you're older than some of us. So
Mostly all of you.
Yeah. So you come from the before online dating.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of us started when social media started, and to me, to be honest, from MySpace on, that's been online dating because people were meeting each other and socializing from MySpace and Black Planet. So just being honest. So from you, D-Man, so when you think about when there was no online dating, when there was no social medias, the difference between the dating then and online dating, like meeting somebody at a bar as opposed to meeting somebody click on a picture.
Yeah, so here's my thing. I think online dating gets a bad rap. Y'all probably wasn't expecting that. What I think people don't get is that, yeah, you're going to meet crazy people online, but it's not like you don't meet crazy people in the real world. The difference is the number. You're dealing with volume. And so when you go online, women, y'all going to see a whole bunch of dudes jump into your DMs. And it's like, oh my gosh, all these kids, nothing but crazy people. The thing is, when you're out in the real world, you're not going to get approached by a whole bunch of people. You get approached by one crazy dude, and it's one. And so you don't go, oh my gosh, there's a bunch of crazy dudes out here. It's the same people. It's just you're getting access to many more. So what you need to do is learn how to move around that shit, how to deal with it so that you can get past them so you can find the real nugget. I don't have a problem with either one. You know, I feel like I wish we'd get back to the real thing, and everybody just, it ain't gonna happen. We're moving forward, right? We're moving forward. Online dating is here to stay. It's gonna stay because it gives you more access. You can't meet the same number of people out in the streets as you do online. And the reason is because most of us travel in our same circles most of our life. You get up, you go to work, you go to your local gym, you go to your local supermarket. You're going to see the same people over and over and over again. So if you want to meet that dude or that chick, you got to go outside. And the only way, and online is probably the best way to do that. So I don't see it as something bad. The problem is that people are not real all the time online, and that's where the issue comes in. People are not real online. So what happens is somebody's like trying to connect and they want a real relationship, and somebody else is just trying to, you got the fuck boy and you got the gold digger, right? They're just trying to get their game, but they're not going to let you know that's what their game is. So they're trying to act like they're real. They get what they want and they're out, and you go, oh man, see, everybody's an asshole on here. And it's like, well, not everybody, but those bad apples are making you think there's a whole bunch on there. So I hate the date apps that don't make people differentiate between what they're looking for and not looking for. Like, you shouldn't get to have choices, like multiple choices. Well, I want friendship, long-term relationship. Which one do you want? Long-term or friendship? You just want FWB, but you only get to pick one. So put your shit out there. And then the other thing, like if I'm going to get into etiquette that aggravates me, is the way people try to outsmart people on there, and it's stupid. So I'm talking about pictures, right? I know we all deal with this. So why in the world, and there's a couple of different things, but first, to me, what makes sense, you have a headshot and a full-length pic. Now, I don't know if men are doing this all as much as women do, because I don't date men. So I'm gonna need the ladies to speak to that. But I can't, if I get on a woman's profile and all she has is headshots, I swipe left. I don't care how cute she is. Because to me, she's playing games. Put that full-length pic out there, right?
No, she played.
The response I always get for a reason why they don't do is because I want you to like me for me. Okay, don't put your face out there either then. Like, why is the picture of your face out there then if all you want me to do is like who you are, right? But they put their face on there. My thing is, it's better to put that full length on there, because the only people you're going to have to deal with is people that accept everything that they see, right? You're not going to have to worry about the one that swiped left, because you don't know they swiped left on you. So just put that full length out there and start playing games. And then the other one is when you put the most current pic at the end. So I scroll through all of it, and I see that end one. It's like, swipe left. So it's like, no, put your most current one out there so people know who you are now. Stop playing games. So I'm gonna end it right there so everybody else can chirp in. But
10 years ago.
Okay, look. So I'm gonna go next on this one because I mostly piggyback off what D-Man said. I think the authenticity is the issue with most online dating, is because everybody get to be who they want to be on. You don't have to be the real you. So if I meet Lucy somewhere, she's forced to, I approached her, so she don't have time to come up with a game plan and a fake name and a fake bio, and she don't have time because it was spur of the moment right then. So you're most likely, now again, some people are quick on their feet. but for the most part, you're going to get more authentic,
Right.
conversation. If you're going on a situation where you're looking at people that have had time to sit down and create a character and a persona, then you're not going to get a lot of genuine and authentic, interactions, because most of these people are just being what they think so if you're looking for guys, you're thinking this is what guys want. And that goes the same way with the pictures. I feel like online dating is the difference for me between that and regular dating is the confidence. Because you're behind the screen, you've created a persona. People don't really know you. So women are quicker to reject faster, and men are quicker to be disrespectful, out of character, do certain stuff. There are dudes that will say, get in your inbox and say things to you that you can 100% guarantee if he met you at a bar, he wouldn't say any of them. Probably wouldn't even approach you. There are dudes that have no social skills, but they have a social media skill. So you'll see those dudes out at a bar. They don't talk to anybody. They sit in the corner with their friends. They're the quietest one. But then online, they in everybody inbox with something to say. Those type people. So that goes with what I was saying about the looks, what D-Man was saying. That whole, exactly what he said, the headshot, I'm gonna be honest, if you just only got your headshot, I'm assuming you fake. That's just how I'm gonna feel, and there ain't no way around it. You can't change it. If all your pictures are old and looking like them old grainy, what's the old Technicolor pictures.
The Kodaks
them old Technicolor pictures, and then you got the one newer looking picture. I'm gonna assume, because I know if you went out of your way to do that, that's like product placement. If you got 20 pictures and you stick your one recent in the middle of that, you're hoping that people are just scrolling through and catch that one and keep going. So it's product placement. You're intentionally trying to look or give off the persona that, hey, this is how I look, when this is how you look 10 years ago. And you stick the one new picture in there to kind of throw it off. Or if I see somebody and all they have is filtered, even if you're cute, I'm going to assume that you think you're ugly. That's just how I think. I'm sorry. But if you got 20 pictures and they all have a filter with the cat face or the bunny nose or something, I'm going to assume that this was done intentionally because you're not confident and comfortable with your facial whatever. Yeah. So again, you say what, Luz?
I really want to hear what Session has to say.
Oh. So with that, I just feel like it's not as authentic as it is like in the real world. So go ahead, Session. Because I'm interested in this as well. She looked like she get a lot of DVDs.
Jumping at the bit, huh? Let's go.
Okay, so I'm 43. So I will say this. I've dabbled in online dating, and I think for me, online dating is scary for a couple of reasons. For me, there's that swipe left, swipe right confidence that I'm just kind of like, what if I don't get any likes? What if I do? And what if I don't like that person back? Then I always kind of feel like the mean person, if like, so like Facebook dating, like you see the so-and-so has liked you, and I'm like, oh, I don't person. Like sometimes I'll see that I have 20 likes. I will let those likes sit there because I'm like, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings.
So do you feel pressured to like that?
No, right. Because in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But then I'm like, but if I don't like the person, I also put myself in their shoes. I wouldn't want somebody to click that they like me just out of pity. But so I'm like, no, I don't like you. I have met like the crazies. There's the weird. So when it comes to like what I've noticed what guys do, they may not do the filters, but they do the photo to where it's like right here in front of their face, to where it's just the body pic, and you're like, and there will be like 8 of those. And I'm like, okay, so you have a nice body, but when you put that phone down, what does your face look like? Because if your body is nice, I want to see this every time I see you. I don't want to see your face at all.
But also, wait, understand, we don't know how, like, we not professed at taking pictures. So a lot of the time, it's just that, like,
or it's they're posted up against like some Bentley, and I'm like, bruh.
Dudes still do that.
Post up next to like 2 Bentleys, and I'm like,
oh, women do that too.
But dude, I didn't know dudes still did that in somebody else's car.
Like the dating world, but like you said, when you like, I have a big fear of rejection. Like, I would rather. Did you really just spit your? Did you really spit? I have a fear of rejection. Like, I would rather be single and never approach a guy than me being like, hey, my name is Kendra, and can I have your, and the guy be like, nah, dog, it's
See, but we got to deal with that every day of our lives.
Right.
We built for it, though. We built for it, man.
Right. So the dating world is crazy. It is scary. Then it's the like, then it's the stalkers. I watch too many crime dramas. Yeah. So then it's that. And like, so here's a story. In my apartment complex, I suffer with epilepsy. So maybe like 3 months ago, a guy in my apartment's like, we're always like walking our dogs. And he was like, hey, so are you dating? And I was like, well, I'm still new to the city. So I'm just trying to like, get my bearings straight. And I'm not really like looking to date right now. So he drives trucks. So then I saw him maybe like in January. So exactly. So seeing as though I don't know anyone in my apartment complex and my best friend lives in Lancaster, my neurologist was like, maybe, you should find someone in your apartment complex who you know. Now, I'm not saying him and I are best friends, but he lives the building over. So should I have a seizure, I could call him. He could come and sit with me should something happen until the paramedics get here. So I'm telling him about it. And literally the month and a half I don't see him, he comes out with this, well, my wife, my old lady. I was like,
oh, man.
Wait,
yeah.
he's black?
Yeah, he's black.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, your wife? He was like, yeah, my wife. And I was like, And I'm thinking to myself,
so why did you ask me if I was single?
Right. So all of a sudden, I was like, so all of a sudden you have a wife / old lady when 2 months ago you were asking if I was dating. You were happily walking my crazy dog, like she was like about to be your adopted dog, like. And then like I was like, oh, okay, well, I was just not. So then I was like, oh, well, can I talk to your wife tomorrow? And then maybe I can exchange numbers with her since you're on the road. Oh, he changed his story like real quickly. So that's what I'm talking about. I was like, dude, I wasn't even trying to holler at you. I was just trying to get someone to sit with me in case I accidentally rolled over on my stomach. Like, so I didn't, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, dating sucks. Like, so at this point in my life, I'm like, I'm 43. I'm probably just ride this single life out until, until I kick the bucket. Like, because it's tough out here. Like, it's
it's a long, lonely road. People living till they 80-some years old.
Yeah, but then you have to ask yourself, I've got friends who have been a special friend for like 20-some years. I'm like, I'm not trying to be your special friend for 20 years. Like, I don't want to open that funeral program. It's like, Kendra's been his special friend for 25 years. Being your special friend not going to give me nothing. Like,
okay. We're gonna make sure we say that again. The funeral program.
It's tough.
So loose. What you got?
I want to hear what Joey has to say. Jeffrey, buddy, come on.
This is interesting. You don't put me on a spot like this. So I think I'm the youngest one of everybody here. So I'm
Oh, no.
35 years. I'm 35 years old.
I'm 33. How old do I look?
Okay, all right. I said I think. I prefaced that. But you know what? This is an excellent segue to the point I was gonna make. So thank you for that. I appreciate you. So people oftentimes we get on these social medias and people like, they give it a bad rep, right? But I don't think people realize the amount of damage they do to themselves on social media.
Yeah,
You
here we
get
go.
on these profiles and you hear the anger and hostility. Before you ever send a message, you see all this hateful energy. And it's like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, we on here to date. But everything you promote or put out is anti that. How are you
Mhm.
doing yourself a favor to secure a date or secure a better option by being this negative?
Mhm.
That is, it's one of those things where you have to have like social media etiquette. You have to have dating etiquette, but we're talking about online dating. So there's an online dating etiquette that I don't think is quote unquote established or has been figured out yet. Because when you get on these websites, people just doing anything and everything. You
Yep.
you
Yep.
see some good ones every once in a while, but it's almost like in the real world when you walking down the street, you see a whole bunch of like, oh no. It's par for the course though. I don't think most people do themselves favors with their social media pages. That's number one. Number two, I think to James's point, a lot of people get emboldened online because it is a lot less personal. And
Mhm.
so you can put your resume out there. You can say certain things and sell yourself a certain way. And those people who aren't used to having that direct interaction or conversation with people, they got time to sit there and figure things out and make themselves look better than if they approach you on the street. And I think that plays a role into it. So I think social media, to some degree, for introverts in particular, I think it's a better option if you're not, you know, really good socially.
Good
But I
point.
think for some people, it's still better if you approach personally. Now, with this being said, there's people that talk themselves up online and then you get them in person and all that fire, all that greatness goes away. There really isn't as
Mhm.
much depth. They put a whole lot of time into a profile, but they haven't put time into themselves when you actually sitting there directly in front of them. And it's like, okay, where's all this that you know you were selling online? Where's this person? Because the person online is not matching up with the person I have in front of me, you know. And it's just my personal experiences. I do most of my dating online. There's better ways I think we could go about using social media. It's supposed to be a tool, but I don't think in general for the dating populace we have quite figured that out. Will we ever figure that out? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think if you don't necessarily have the skills in person anyway, it doesn't matter what you do online because all that has to come to a head. You could do all the talking online, but you still got to meet in person. And if you ain't got it in person, it don't matter how good you are online. That's just real.
Oh, I totally agree with that one right there.
All
So
right, dude.
Lucy,
Let's
what you
go.
got? Now you done directed everybody around you,
Mhm.
so you better have a good closer.
Mhm.
Okay, so we said dating app etiquette. And I do not have a whole lot of experience on dating apps because I get overwhelmed very easily. So I tried for a summer. I went on 3 dates with 3 different guys, and I was like, this ain't it. Delete app. I was exhausted with other people's feelings and all these different personalities.
Mhm.
I tried again and I said I would never get on Tinder, got on Tinder. And I had heard that it was for sex. Like people getting on Tinder definitely want sex. But there's this one person that's met somebody on Tinder and got married. But I was like, I'm gonna get on here and see what the app looked like, user interface, browsing. And met this guy, and he didn't come out right out and say, I want to have sex. He didn't. We went on a date. We actually went out twice, I think. And then we went to the Fairmont And the people were like, are y'all staying here? And he was like, oh, I don't know, I'll let you know. And I'm like, you didn't discuss this with me. So we went up, he's like, you can order whatever drinks you want. Drinks, I guess, to get me to a point where I am, tipsy enough to want to stay. And I was like, no. He was like, and I was like, oh no, you ain't got to spend all this money, like it ain't that deep. And he was like, if I say you could order whatever you want, you could order whatever you want. And I'm like, still, I've had enough. And then when we are going home, we're going up the highway, and I'm like, you know my exit, right? So he passes it up. And I was like, well, where you going? He was like, oh, we aren't going to my house. And I'm like, absolutely not. So you might want to whip it in this parking lot and take me home. So I feel like, even though they said Tinder was for people that want to have sex, he should have been more open with that. Like, don't take me out and spend this money. Wait, what are y'all saying?
So, first of all, every dude that you meet is gonna want to have sex with you. And second of all,
well, yeah.
As much as y'all tell us that trope of, if that's what you want, tell us. As men, we deal in probability, not possibility. There's a possibility that if I tell you, hey, I just want your booty, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, that's cool. But that's a very small possibility. It's the same possibility of winning the lottery. But we know the probability of, if I take you out on this date and I talk to you and I wind down you, my probability of having the sex goes up. So we're not dealing in possibility. Now, I do agree that he should be more open, but yeah, that's a nice
on who you meet. Because meeting me, I'm different. You know what I'm saying? So
you just gonna shoot him down.
But wait. The woman says that.
You just gonna shoot him down.
Dude approaches the woman.
Everyone says it.
This one is different from all the rest because y'all all say that.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. Had he met someone else who had multiple drinks, she'd probably be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna say, oh. And then he drive a Tesla too. But money don't move me. Yeah.
But he don't know that. He don't know that.
Yeah, he don't know that. He's going off probability. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
I understand your probability. It makes so much sense. But again, this is me we're talking about here. And I would have been like, no, from the jump, you know, I'm all like, oh, like I got on here to, I don't know, maybe get to know somebody or whatever, but you going against my grain, how I operate. So no, like, don't pass my exit up, niggas, take me on. So I feel like, I just feel like as far as etiquette is concerned, I wish a lot more people would be upfront. I wish that, you know, when on the app, when they say, tell us a little about yourself, you say something with substance. Because I scrolled on my friend's Hinge profile and I saw where it asks you little cute questions and lets you pick an either or. Like the app is trying to help people, but some people aren't putting, and you know, I think it was D-Man, the free apps, it ain't no telling who you're gonna find on the free apps. But the people that want shit on the free apps, they're not going on eHarmony to pay. Because the people on eHarmony to pay really want something. Like I'm paying my $49 a month.
Lucy, it's I'm gonna be real with you. It's some alligators on eHarmony the same way. They just got some money and they willing to pay to get a different brand of women. I'm just telling you.
It don't mean jack. Nope.
Yeah, it don't matter.
It's an investment for them to clap cheeks.
There are gonna be some bad apples. I get it. But I feel like, in my opinion, sometimes the people that are paying are looking for a little bit more, or a different type of people, a different type of person.
They're looking for a different person. That's different.
Now, I ain't saying they ain't trash. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know who you're going to get. Like you said, it gives you access to so many different people, whether we have good, bad, ugly, skinny, fat, throw, thugs, gangsters, politics, anybody. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish that people were more upfront. I hope I never have to date again because it's hard out here. Like, man, it is some wild people out here. I'm
gonna need you to stop bragging right now.
It was a low key little brag. Like
I like how she was low key spitting bars with that.
You see my head bob now, like, Okay, lose with the cadence. But she did slide that little jab in. Hopefully, I ain't never got to date no more.
Wait, is everybody? No, James, you're not single.
Mm-mm.
I ain't. Oh, James. Oh yeah, James ain't.
D-Man, you single?
Yeah.
Joey?
Yep, I'm single.
Kendra. Oh, well, we ain't gonna
You
ask.
already said.
Yeah, we ain't gonna ask. You got the dude trying to
Hope to
follow
be
you
out the
around.
game soon, though. I hope to be out soon, but we'll see.
Hey, we can all hope. I hope for everybody because I'm telling you, if right now in 2023, if you not got somebody and you complain about dating 2025, you're gonna be complaining even more because it's not gonna get no better.
Are y'all the type of individuals that ghost people? Because that should not even be a thing.
Ghosting.
No.
Ghosting to me goes with the confidence thing.
Is there a
ghosted.
timeline on ghosting?
Ghosting has been going on for years, though.
Like if you ghost a person on the first day, does that really count as ghosting? Is that
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, now wait. So Lucy, now this is the question I'm gonna slide to you for that ghosting. So let me know, and I get it. Nobody wants to be ghosted, but do we not feel like ghosting is the same thing as seeing a dude in your inbox and you know you seen him and you just didn't reply? That's the same exact thing.
It ain't.
It is.
It ain't.
Ghosting somewhat
ghosting
implies y'all
after you
had
make a connection,
conversation.
though, right?
Oh,
you
okay.
Connection first, and
Both of those are wrong because I feel like both of those to me are coward plays. I feel like you don't want the confrontation of just telling somebody you're not interested, so you just disappear, or you see they trying to talk, and instead of you just saying, "Hey, I'm not interested," you just don't read it.
But
Or
see,
don't.
here's the thing, because you can be like I have like my best friend, like she has like whenever someone gets her order wrong at like a restaurant, she has like this staple Karen, like holier than thou message that she types up, and it's very professional. So I'm like, how do you tell a man that thank you, but you're not interested without it? Right.
Just like that.
But here's the thing. You can turn around and be like, thank you, but I just don't think, that there is a connection between the two of us. I don't even backdoor it with, but we can be friends because
don't do that.
I think
that's patronizing. It is.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I just say thank you, but I just don't feel that there's a connection between the two of us. Period. Point blank. Then there becomes like this 8 message thing that I'm like, see, I don't even have like.
You should block him then. But once you've done your part, I'm gonna tell you, as women, let me give you game.
Once I see that
you've done your part, you told me you weren't interested. Yeah, you don't have to get there and go why, and you don't have to answer all those questions. You don't owe that person. Yeah, you don't owe that person anything other than I'm not interested.
Because sometimes when you tell people that, they take that to a whole nother land, and it's
you can't do nothing about that. That's on them.
Yeah, you can't judge a person.
But I do think that, like, for women, and I'm just speaking for women because for women that's scary. But I also know in these days and times that's scary for a man too. For a man to tell a woman, "Thank you, but I'm not interested."
But why is it scary though? Please wait.
Because you have some people that will turn around, slit your tires, threaten to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people who just up here, they're not okay.
Well, see, okay, listen. If they're slitting your tires and you just started talking, why do they even know where your car is at?
Yeah.
No, I'm just using that as like a scenario. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but that sounds like something that where you've been talking to them for a minute.
No, I'm just saying because it's just like you can tell a person.
Yeah, some dudes don't take rejection well, but
the thing is,
majority
that's
do.
10. That's like level 10 negative reaction. Like that's not gonna be the standard reaction for everybody. Yeah, you got some people that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but like we used to say in the military, pain is the patient's problem. I really don't care what your reaction is. If I tell you no, that's what it is. You got to deal with that at that point. I'm not worried about it. I did my part. If you want to sit there and write, 100 different messages about it, you're gonna be blocked before you know it. So go ahead and take that L, get back on that date mark, do your thing. But outside of that, don't worry about it. It ain't got nothing to do with you. I don't want to deal with you. That's for you to deal with. Yeah. Period.
So I got a question. Take it to change the topic up just a little bit. So you meet someone online on a dating app or Facebook and some group, whatever, or they jump into your DM. It don't matter. However you meet them online. how long do you feel you need to talk to that person online before you exchange phone numbers?
Is this for everybody or just the women?
Yeah, I want to hear.
So
It just depends.
I'll start that one out. So I find this the weirdest thing when you're single and you get on this app and you hit this woman up and you're like going back and forth with her. You be like, hey, can I have a conversation with you? And she's like, well, I don't like giving my phone number out. But then she don't reply to you every 3 days. So, and then she'll be like, well, I don't really be on here like this. So you don't really be on here and I can't have your number. How am I supposed to talk to you, ma'am?
Thank you.
I'm just sitting around waiting for you every 3 days to pop in and say, hey, we're going to keep having the same repeat conversations, and I'm not interested in it.
Thank you, James. I don't even have to say nothing now because you said everything I'm going to say.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think that's the
it
weirdest
don't
thing.
make sense to me.
I don't like to give my phone number out. Then what are you on here for? It's a phone
Let me say
number.
this too.
Go ahead, Joe.
Right. So with the phone number thing, my question is, right, if let's take away social media, let's go back to before we had all this. If you walked up as a guy and if you want to talk shit, you ask for a number straight up. Like after you did your conversation, you asked for your number. And it wasn't no like, okay, well, I'll see you around. Maybe I'll get your number next time. Hey, we done talked a little bit. Can I get your number? All right, cool. Then we go with that. I don't know why people act like we got to be so secretive with the numbers. Like we just can't block people.
Right.
Like that don't exist. Like
right.
You don't know anything about me because we done talked online, other than the conversation. If I block you, you no longer exist. It is like what I get it. Maybe if you'd have came to my house or something, okay, fine, maybe. But if we just sitting there sending a couple messages or just initial and a guy or a girl is tripping, block them. Like, what are they gonna do? They don't know where you live. They don't have your number to begin with.
Yeah, and I also hate
they watch all those detective movies, those murder things, that ID channel, so they think everybody
murder porn
is a creeper and a snoop is going to
like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah. Murder porn. But my thing is, when you ask somebody for their phone number and they give you, well, I'll give you my Instagram. I didn't ask you for your Instagram, 40-year-old woman.
Too,
First of all, you childish, and I'm not gonna ever talk to you again because I asked you a grown-up adult conversation, which is, hey, this conversation is going well. Can I get your phone number? They're like, well, no, but I'll give you my Instagram. I'm no longer interested now. You don't have to give me any of it because you offer me door number 2.
You ain't even got an Instagram.
Yeah, you can't offer me door number 2. I ain't got no Instagram. I don't know how to find you. If I do, open it, we lost. We both lost. I ain't gonna never find you.
Wait, but now you wanted to say something. I had something to say, but I want to hear what Session got to say.
Oh no, I'm good. No.
Oh, okay. So this kind of tied into what Joey was saying. I think James kind of hit at it too. So yeah, 57 years old, right? And initially when you were dating, and think about this, I'm talking about the women that I would date. So any woman that I date had the same experience because I'm not dating anyone younger than 45, right? So initially, like everyone said, if I see a woman, I'm gonna see her out the street in the club and whatever. I'm gonna step to her. We're gonna talk, and I'm gonna ask her for a phone number because that's the only way we're gonna carry it any further. We exchange phone numbers. It goes forward. It don't make any sense to me when I hear a woman say, "Well, I just want to talk to you a little bit longer on." Well, I don't feel secure getting out my phone. I'm like, what the hell you think I'm going to do if I got your phone number? As a matter of fact, I tell you what, get you a Google Voice number or a text now number. Okay, that ain't your real number. And then if you're not happy with what you see, you can block that. So I don't understand. It seems so childish and ridiculous. If you're not interested, just say, I'm not interested. But don't give me well, I just don't feel safe giving out my phone number bullshit. Like, I don't want to hear that. Like, as soon as I hear that, I don't even continue the conversation. I just go, okay, it was nice meeting you. I'm done with them. Erased.
I agree.
Hey, see, man, we share the same sentiments on that, and I'm not your age, so I think that just goes around the board. I don't really think it got nothing to do with age. So everybody, I feel like today was a very good first episode. I clap my hands for everybody. Lucy did the snaps for the poetry snap. So again, this is called Overly Opinionated. We'll be dropping episodes once once, twice a week, month, different platforms. You'll start looking out for all the overly opinionated social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and the TikToks and all that. We'll keep everybody posted on that. And again, my name is James. My guy D-Man. My guy Kendra. My guy Lucy. And my guy Joey. I said guy for everybody because I didn't want nobody to feel like we were singling them out. But everybody
Right.
know that these are women. So, but everybody was just greatly appreciated. I feel like our first episode went flawless. I couldn't imagine it going any better. We kept the flow. Everything worked well. So we good for the rest of the night. And that is the end of our show for this week. And we will see you all next time on Overly Opinionated.
Peace.
All right, people. You just disappeared. What?